Horror as a cultural form has an amazingly rich symbolic vocabulary. Different themes, styles, objects, tropes, and motifs are all used to create particular effects. The most important one being fear. So much of this symbolic vocabulary is drawn from religion and theology. Devils, demons, and crucifixes are hugely familiar to anyone who enjoys horror. But more widely, we can see that horror is fascinated by ideas which are religious and spiritual. Ghosts, hauntings, even possessions are based on religious and spiritual ideas about ourselves and the nature of our existence. Horror in all of its forms isn't just about the threat of physical suffering, but is about the threat to the soul. And what this raises is an important question. Is horror just a series of scary stories? Or is there something deeper going on that those of us who study religion and theology should be paying attention to? What can horror tell us about what people believe? In this project, we want to draw those who engage with horror into the conversation through a wide-scope survey, focus groups, and interviews to learn from people how horror in all of its forms shapes what people believe and helps us understand issues of religion, spirituality, and theology. There's this term in academic writing about art called aesthetic cognitivism. Very simply, it's the notion that art is not just a pleasurable experience, but it conveys a kind of knowledge or understanding. Most of the people who write about this tend to focus on what we'd call high culture, great works of art, classic novels, that kind of thing. And from that point of view, it's no surprise that horror hasn't been given the same attention. Horror is supposed to make us feel afraid, but it also reveals something of what we think about issues of faith, damnation, even God. What if, in this cultural form, we can find new ways of thinking about how people come to understand these issues of faith, and maybe come to understand how this form of culture can change what and how people believe?